push back on them, and you tell them they're not welcome.
Joining us now for analysis on the looming trial is Erin Elmore, the executive director of USA Strong, contributor for Turning Point USA, and a columnist at townhall.com. So, Erin, we know now that the House has impeached the president for the second time throughout his presidency. We know exactly what they're alleging. The events on January 6th and the actually weeks leading up to that as well is what they've cited in their report. Do you think that that is appropriate to call for impeachment?
Wow, so it's a longer answer than you probably care for, but I will tell you this. Today, I am an attorney. I haven't practiced in a long time. Today, I went back and read Brandenburg, and what I realized was Mr. Brandenburg, if you could even be so polite as to call him Mr., was a leader of the KKK who hated Jews and African Americans. And what he was advocating for, he said, we may need to take revenge on these people. Do you know how much worse that is than anything that we've heard from anyone on the right? There is no way that our president should be on trial for impeachment. And by the way, is this what Joe Biden meant by healing the nation? He's going to start his first term as president with an impeachment trial. And just so people on the left know, the shortest impeachment trial in the history of our country was 21 days. So if he thinks they're going to get this done quickly, it's not going to be pretty. Moreover, whenever you're doing an impeachment trial, you can't conduct any other government business. So we're not getting any cabinet members approved. We're not getting any other government business done. I think that this is a terrible idea, and it will end up polling very badly for Democrats. Second of all, are they really going to get the 17 extra votes that they need? I think that's a very big, huge stretch. So I'm not optimistic about it. I think the optics look terrible for our country, and people's vitriol and hatred for Donald Trump, their Trump derangement syndrome, they're going to have to find peace with this. He was the president, although you're trying to censor him, silence him, and erase him. It happened, okay? Move on.
Yeah, and you know, when it comes to Joe Biden, too, it even sounds like he doesn't want this to take place. He's been asked about it a couple times, and he'll say something along the lines of, well, that's Congress's job to figure out. I don't necessarily want anything to do with it right now. And I think that he acknowledges exactly what you just said, the fact that he still needs to get his cabinet appointees through. He has a very ambitious first 100 days when it comes to coronavirus relief and perhaps infrastructure, things of that nature. I think that's what he's looking ahead to. But you're exactly right. You bring up the fact that Democrats would need to turn 17 Republicans in the Senate in order to remove President Trump from office and therefore apply, I'm assuming, the sanctions that they do want, which is making sure that he doesn't run for office in the future. If they can't get that 17, what do you think this is really about?
Well, the other things that would happen were he wouldn't be able to have, I believe, a presidential library. He wouldn't receive his pension. I don't know how important those two things are to him, but he deserves a presidential library. Can they flip 17? I would be shocked. And I can't see, a Joe Manchin voting for this. I mean, maybe Lisa Murkowski, Mitt Romney, Susan Collins, but to get 17 is a lofty goal. And as you indicated, Joe Biden has bigger fish to fry. He wants to get this stimulus. He wants to get the minimum wage change. Really, this is what you're going to do? And a new term, turning a page, starting a new chapter. What I also want to ask the Democrats and the left is, when are they going to be happy? You want everything. Okay, you basically want everything. Is it fair? I certainly don't think so. You want everything. Why are you still so miserable?
Yeah. I think that you also bring up a good point when it comes to people like Joe Manchin or Mitt Romney, Lisa Murkowski. They're all people who don't have to worry about re-election in 2022. So I could see them maybe trying to take this risk of saying, you know what, maybe I'll try to move on from the Trump type of tenure and try to make myself seem like an independent once again. I don't think that anyone's going to buy that, though. But there are Republicans now in the upper chamber who do seem to be at least more accepting to the possibility of removal than compared to the Ukraine impeachment a year ago, which I can't believe that we're talking about a second one once again, but here we are. Why do you think that some Republicans, for example, I mean, Mitch McConnell, I guess, has, according to reports, voiced the ability for this to take place. He's not going to object to it the same way he did the first time. What do you think that's about?
Two things. One, I worked on President Trump's campaign in 2016, and what you all have to realize is that the establishment Republicans never wanted Donald Trump. They wanted business continue as usual with Republican politics. Well, I have this job and I'm locked up for this job next. And they wanted to keep that swamp in place. So there's a lot of people that are turning on president because they never wanted him in the first place, like in my home state of Pennsylvania. A lot of people just didn't want an outsider in the swamp. So that's the biggest thing, I think, to consider, is that they just didn't want Donald Trump. Are they going to flip on him? I think many of them may. But Pat Toomey from Pennsylvania isn't running again, but I heard he wants to run for governor. Yeah. Trump people don't forget the populist movement that Donald Trump has created. We are strong, we are unified, and we have a long memory. So I think this will hurt people. Actions have consequences, and we're going to have to see how this plays out.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that President Trump was the revival of the Republican Party. And even earlier this week, I saw a poll by Axios that says that the Republican constituency is very much so on the side of President Trump as compared to Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell or any other Republicans for that matter. So I think the Republican Party needs to address that at some point and figure out how it's going to move forward, because it's very clear who's leading the party at this point. Erin Elmore, thanks for coming on the show tonight, breaking down the preview of this, again, impeachment saga taking place.
Impeachment circus. Thanks for having me.
And still ahead, as you